asked, as far as the choice of First Minister is concerned, Sir George feels that Alex Salmond has the required qualities of leadership. These attributes can range from integrity and imagination to the way you part your hair. After all, Tory leader David Cameron has changed his from one side to the other, which prompted our reporter David Allison to explore the significance of this tonsorial swap.
There's more to a parting than meets the eye. There's even a thing called the hair part theory. You can Google it. And John Walters from the True Mirror Company in New York says there's real evidence that if you want political power, then you need to part your hair on the left.
The right hair part on a man is often a handicap because you're emphasizing that softer, more intuitive side, and people don't perceive you necessarily as the stronger masculine side.
What about examples of where politicians have had a right hair part and not done well? I mean, I suppose, is Al Gore an example?
Yes, actually the real reason he lost the election, was that he parts his hair on the right, because on the face of it he was more qualified for the position, and yet people always said, there's something about him I don't like, I don't get him. Another example is President Jimmy Carter, who back in '79, when he came into president, he was on the right and sort of ran into a wall trying to govern this country. And I wrote to him back then because I just figured out this theory and told him and suggested he change it to the left, and he actually did about 6 weeks later, unbeknownst to anyone. No one knew where it came from. But if you look at his persona and how he comes across, it's much stronger, much more respected than it was.
That's okay for you.
Taylor Ferguson, who runs a busy salon in Glasgow, has had many political clients over the years. He helped bring some control back to Donald Dewar's Barnett when he became Scotland's First Minister, and the salon convinced Nicola Sturgeon to go blonde when she became Deputy SNP leader.
They've had strong-willed mums that have put the parting on that side. That would be the boys' side, you see. I wonder if you look back and you saw them as young kids, would they have that parting? Would it be in the same place?
Maybe the key is not to do with the image of the side parting being on the left. Maybe it's to do with a dominant mother who psychologically creates a son who's trying to get favour with or something like that. Is this a deep psychology that you think's going on?
That's what I would think. Exactly what you're saying there, yes. The mum's been really pushy and get that kid to get on, yes. I would go along that line.
Times columnist Matthew Paris is worried that David Cameron is still trying to work out his hairstyle.
I think you play around with your face and play around with your hair when you're young, when you're playing around in your mind with what kind of a person it is you want to be and how you want people to see you, and it's a stage that you go through where it is all a little unclear and you're experimenting with different versions of yourself. David Cameron must be in his 40s now. It's a little bit worrying. It's a stage people go through when they're teenagers. I don't quite know what this is indicating about his state of mind. It's like getting a tattoo or dyeing your hair green or something. You expect it from your teenage son, not from the leader of your principal opposition.
He can ask the Chancellor now, does he back splitting the Home Office?
But it now means that both Cameron and Brown are set to fight on equal terms, when it comes to hair at least, when Brown takes his place at the dispatch box.
Gordon Brown's hair parts that way because he's got such thick wavy hair and that's the way it goes. And we can see that David Cameron has got the choice.
So Cameron could go either way?
I think he could go either way.
So should Brown respond with a new hairdo to outdo Cameron? Matthew Paris thinks not.
I think Gordon Brown will be making a great mistake and seems to be making a great mistake in trying to polish up and manicure his image a bit and trying to smile and having his teeth straightened and all that sort of thing. Because I think one of the things voters have probably rather liked about Gordon Brown was that he seemed careless of those things. He seemed to be dwelling in a world where appearance didn't matter. And I think people find that reassuring in a Chancellor of the Exchequer.
And as for this hair part theory itself, will it actually survive the next US presidential election? Democrat hopeful Barack Obama, like many African Americans, doesn't have a parting. And what about a woman candidate like Hillary Clinton? Well, her parting is on the left, the side of power. And the theory says women's hair works just the same way as men's. Don't say we didn't warn you.
That's okay for you.
David Allison reporting. Well, back to less important matters.